If we had a safer place to live, more businesses would come to this area. Thus, it would create more jobs, and many of the young people would be employed. When somebody is out of work, they're going to find a way to pay the bills and feed their family. How many warrants have not been served in this county? Well, this fact has overcrowded our jails and cost highly to house these prisoners. And that might be one reason why they don't serve the warrants in this county. Another reason is the sheriff department is not to blame. We just need to blame ourselves because we know who these people are, but we don't tell the sheriff's department where they're at. Well, what I plan on doing when I'm sheriff is coming up with a website where every warrant that I have will be put on a website. So if somebody wants to know if somebody's wanted, or they can look at the website, they'll know who's wanted, their picture will be on there, and there'll be a number directly to me on that website where they won't be scared to call me and let me know where that person is. And I might not even tell my deputies. I might just say, grab 4 of them, let's go to this area right here. We know where he's at right now. And that's called trust from the top. And we got to start at the top and work our way down. A lot of you have known me for years. You know I'm a man of my word. You know I'm a man that can be trusted. And you know I come from a very diverse family. Some of you don't know it, but most of you do know it. I have a beautiful black sister-in-law, 2 beautiful nieces and nephews. I have the finest brother-in-law who's black that my sister married. She's went through a lot of trouble in her times, and I've told him over and over, God bless you that you are with my sister. My eyes, I don't see no division. It's just not the way I was raised. Some people, I take this in for this. Some people may like rice, some may like potatoes. But what we all have in common is we have the security of our neighborhood. I'm not trying to change anybody's culture. I'm not trying to do that. But we all have something in common, is the safety of our community. I believe the sheriff has a position that is held in the highest honor and works as a public servant to all. The sheriff leads by example, and his job is not to be taken lightly. And the sheriff does live in a glass house. Once again, look around you. See what I have done already. This is a small start to something that will grow. When you leave here tonight, tell your friends and family what you've seen tonight. A big family, and that's what we need. We need this in our community. I have not taken this decision lightly. I've taken everything into consideration. My loving wife for 12 years, my 4 children, and I actually have a baby on the way. I'm very much a happily married man. Okay, to be the sheriff, let me tell you about my qualifications. According to the state of South Carolina, I need 5 years in law enforcement. Well, I just actually have 6 years. I was hired on May of 1989. I left May of 1995. And you had to be A1 certified and went through the academy. I did that. I have my certification through the academy. I do feel that I'm qualified to run for sheriff. And the people that do believe in me have no doubt in that I can do the job. I want to tell you a couple little stories, things that I went through being a police officer in Ridgeland. Most of you knew that when I was a police officer, there's some out there that remember. I was the one on June 14, 1989, made the first crack cocaine arrest in Ridgeland at Bay Tree Apartments. Was assisted by other officers doing this. I was the one who single-handedly apprehended 2 escaped juveniles from West Virginia Detention Center. I forced them off the road at a 100-mile-an-hour chase. I recovered over $237,000 in cargo of truck. One night when I was on patrol, I heard an alarm go off in Ridgeland Pharmacy. I single-handedly apprehended a burglary that was made an arrest. I also saved a woman at the Fast Fair in Ridgeland. I drove up to the Fast Fair in Ridgeland. I noticed a commotion going on, so I didn't approach all the way up. I stopped at the gas pumps. I noticed both of them came out the door. I thought it might have been a domestic dispute, but then I looked real closely. This guy had a ski mask on. So as soon as that happened, I drew my weapon, and I told him to freeze. I told him to put his hands up. As soon as he did that, he shot at me. I returned fire. He shot back at me running. I returned fire again, and he slipped away. During this time, Deputy Tal Malthus was riding by and seen everything that happened. Tal jumped out of his vehicle and started going behind the building. And our training is don't over-pursue. And I stopped Tal from going behind that building. I knew if he would have went through that dark area behind that building, he could have been killed. But I stopped. My quick actions at this time, I called dispatch. I had the jailer assist the dispatcher. He called other agencies. We were able to call SLED down. I coordinated everything at an instant. I was able to corner off everything, the interstate, the side roads, everything. Within 12 hours, we were able to apprehend this suspect. This guy was armed. He was dangerous. I also believe I saved 2 lives that day. I was at a checkpoint, and Mr. Dick Guillory came out, and he asked me what was going on. I said, Mr. Dick, you need to leave this area. I said, we got a fugitive out there that shot at me. I said, he's very dangerous. He was serving like 150 years in prison. So Mr. Dick went back and got his wife and got out of the area. We soon find out later that that same person broke into Mr. Dick Guillory's house, stole some clothes and a handgun that was in Mr. Dick Guillory's house. I believe that I saved both of them that night too. One night on patrol, a bolo went out about a white limousine that was stolen out of Lobico, South Carolina. Well, I just happened to spot the vehicle. It was a gas drive-off. So I turned and began the chase. Chase went up to speeds of 100 miles an hour. I stayed behind the car, kept communications with the dispatcher. During this time, unfortunately, he slammed on the brakes, and I could not avoid the accident. But due to my fast thinking and safety of others, I did hit the rear of the vehicle with my Mustang. You have to understand, it was Labor Day weekend. The traffic was heavy. I believe if I would have gone in either direction or down the medium, I would have hurt or killed somebody, but I took the hit. Does this sound like a scared person to do the job? One night on a high-speed chase in Hardyville, 6 patrol cars were behind a Chevy Impala and got off of I-95, heading down Highway 13. I knew I was the last line of defense. I saw them coming towards me. I drove my vehicle back and forth, confusing the suspect in front of me. We were getting closer. I guess it appeared to be a game of chicken, but I wasn't scared. We got much closer. The suspect turned off the roadway and went and hit a lady's porch. I jumped out of the vehicle, ran up to the vehicle, smashed the window out with my revolver, and I told him to freeze with some other words. Does this sound like I'm scared to do my job? I pulled 2 vehicles over on I-95 and started to approach the vehicle. The first vehicle took off. We began the chase. Trooper Dan Labadia assisted me in the pursuit. They were driving a Chrysler Baron that was stolen out of Florida. We chased them almost all the way to Walterboro, South Carolina. The suspects had blown a tire, crossed over into the medium. They started going north on a southbound lane. I still stayed behind them. They tried to go onto the frontage road, but because of the fence, they were stopped. One suspect jumped over the fence, ran into the woods. I was not far behind on foot. I tracked the suspect single-handedly, captured one of the suspects, brought him out of the woods by myself. I was in another high-speed car chase, started in Hardyville, heading to Ridgeland. The highway patrol could not stay with that vehicle, but with my 95.0, they were no match. I chased the vehicle. We were running over 130 miles an hour. It began from Ridgeland and to Gardens Corner and down Highway 21 into Beaufort City. I found out through the dispatcher that the vehicle was stolen and the female had been kidnapped. I was told and advised, whatever I did, stay with that vehicle. Do not leave that vehicle. At one time, I let the highway patrol in Beaufort get in front of me, and they could not stay with it. The highway patrol was pointing his finger, go after him, go after him. So I locked her down and went. I followed him all the way to the end. Yes, to the end of Bell and Curve. If y'all know, all the way into Beaufort to Bell and Curve. We wrecked, but the girl was saved. I saved another life that day. My other qualifications. Well, to be a sheriff, you also have to be a businessman, I believe. You have to know how to run a business, because like a sheriff's department, it's like a business like anything else. It's not just arresting somebody and put them in jail. I started my business, Blatchley Brake and Tire, 11 years ago. I had very little money. As I grow into success today, I know how to use my funds and dispose of it for maximum growth. I would buy equipment that I needed. The equipment was not always the newest, but it got the job done. I showed my customers that I was able to do the work needed to be done. This in turn had repeat customers and their trust. In the years of business, I have hired and fired many employees until I found the right people to do the job as needed. I run a clean shop, as you all know. I've been by my shop several times, and I run a very tight ship. My men are very polite to all my customers. I have trained them myself. I have been very tough on them. But this is what I consider good training. I feel that they work for me, that they respect me, and they have high standards as I do. Over the years, people have seen me grow through tough times that we have. I believe that this, from being able to just talk to people as a person and show them respect. A sheriff is not only a law enforcement officer, but he has to know how to lead his employees and run an everyday business. A sheriff will bring, as sheriff, I will bring my business experience and trust of the people that I already have to serve this community. If you can remember, we had a great sheriff, and he was not a former law enforcement officer like I am. He was not a business owner and had the experience like I do. His name was Randy Blatchley, and he was a good sheriff. Yes, I feel that I'm very much qualified to run the sheriff's department. I know law enforcement, and I know how to effectively run a business. I know this county and its entire people. Ask what kind of experience I had to run for sheriff. I have a lifetime. I'm not no kid. I'm 45 years old. I've learned over the years. Later on in this campaign, you will find out what a son did to his father who broke the law. I need you, but now here, I need your help. When you go to talk to people, talk positive. If they start talking negative to you, say something nice. This is how we're going to win this election. The sheriff is only a tool for the community. If the tool is broken, we must fix it or replace it. The whole community must come together. The sheriff department can't do it alone. I've spoke to some people about this, but I'm going to let you know what I plan on doing when I'm the sheriff. I plan on starting a website for the most wanted in the community, like I said earlier. This website will have everybody that's wanted on my wanted list and inform them how they can get in touch with me. I want to start the first Jasper County informant website so people can look on it, find out what crimes have happened as soon as they happen. This information is very important for fast crime solving. Letting the people know what is going on in your community is very, very important. I want to start the first online instant report. It is so hard to go down there and get an instant report. This is public information. This is public information that needs to go to the public. I want to create a website where you can go right online and get a copy of that instant report. It's going to take somebody like me to bridge our community together. I will open the door to all. We cannot sleep at night worrying about our lawnmowers or four-wheels getting stolen. There's been so many times that I leave my house and go on vacation and worry about my things that I worked so hard for getting stolen. I'd have the guys come up and they would take my lawnmower and four-wheelers and take it to the shop and lock it up. I would take my guns out of my house and put them in my wife's car and set the alarm. It's getting ridiculous around here, people. We have to come together. We are so afraid to go in parts of this county without even getting shot at. People that know me, when I was a police officer, I did not back down. When it came to protecting the community, I was on top. Just ask them. I believe in my heart that I need to do this for the future of all. Let the people know Keefe Blatchley cannot be paid off, cannot be bought. I'm not for sale. You back me up in the corner and see what you'll get. I will go into this office clean. I will be the high sheriff. I will not be anybody's puppet, but just a tool for the good people of this community. I will work hard to make this a safer place for all of us to live and raise our families. Like I said, a sheriff needs to hold this position with the highest honor. He must lead with a balance for the community for all. He must also needs to lead by example, ethically and morally. When the time comes to vote, please, you're the one that can make the difference and change. The people of this community and business owners, we have had enough. and we're not going to take it anymore. And I would like to thank everybody for coming out tonight. I do appreciate it. Thank you.